And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 589. Today is Friday, August 7th, 2020, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish. Today's top stories: Crypto Mom, SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce voted in until 2025. Privacy group slams California bill that will put health records on the blockchain. Much of Russia's blockchain voter data is now for sale on the dark web. Alleged Twitter hackers' digital hearing overtaken by pornography and rap music. Someone transferred $1 billion in Bitcoin for less than $5. That is right, all that and more. But first and foremost, is go ahead and check out those prices. That's right, it's a bloody red day today. Bitcoin is down 1.64% at $11,624. Ethereum's at $383, down 3.57%. Ripple at 29 cents, down 2.64%. Stellar, 10 cents, down 1.61%. Chainlink is actually up 1.55%, up to $9.88. Let's see, Litecoin is down 2.14 cents, $58.69. So right across the board, mostly anywhere from 1 to 3% drops, which is to be expected. We've been pumping pretty hard now for the last few weeks. It looks like it may continue. Of course, this weekend will be a big indicator. The weekends are always big indicators of how we come out of the weekend into Monday, kind of how that week goes. One thing I would like to point out, I saw an article come out today saying that future interest has doubled basically the last few months. So that's a big deal, because when we talk about futures, CME and SIBO, whatever, we remember when they first shorted the market, they say they were going to tame the Bitcoin market. We definitely didn't believe them here on the show. Turns out they're right. They tamed the Bitcoin market back in 2018 with help of regulators and media, but it was done. So I say that now because, of course, these future interests are back out there. They're doubling. People are actually very bullish with these futures. So that's a good sentiment for the market. If the futures interests are bullish, if these people do have the ability to manipulate the market in whatever direction it wants to go, then it's good to see that they're actually hoping for the price to increase, so we can put all of their power that they have with regulators and media behind the market as well. So hopefully that will help the overall price point. What's going on, P-Man Van, Tommy Brown, Dexter Hand Sr., what's up from Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic? Hello. Tiffany from New York. Hello all. All right, SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce has been voted in until 2025. That's right. We need to reach out to Cointelegraph specifically because they keep doing it more than any other publication. But we need to reach out to these writers, Marie, Julia, editors, and everyone. Stop calling them crypto mom and crypto dad when they work for the SEC. That is an oxymoron. Like, how much is the government paying you to keep calling them crypto mom and crypto dad in all your publications? No one that's actually in the crypto sphere or in the industry has monikered them crypto mom or crypto dad. The publications have, and I'm not sure where they got it from, but no, this is not the crypto mom. Peirce's successful confirmation was announced on August 6th in a statement from SEC Chairman Jay Clayton and fellow commissioners. Now, the only reason this is important to me, the only reason that the U.S. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce has been confirmed for a second term lasting through 2025, that's important to me because Hester Peirce has already come out and said that the way the SEC has been treating the cryptocurrency industry, some of the old rules we've been using, everything's antiquated, right? She's saying we need to revamp it. The rules are wrong. They're old. We need to look at everything. She's been talking all this good stuff, and places like Cointelegraph have continued to moniker her crypto mom. So I want to point this story out because now she literally has almost 5 years to do something with the SEC in regards to cryptocurrency. So for now on, another year or two, when we hear, Hester Peirce, crypto mom's coming out, I can't believe the SEC is still doing this to the crypto industry. No, it will be her doing. So if what she says is true, what she really wants to turn around the SEC and how they treat the cryptocurrency industry, how they look at things from an innovative perspective or the lack thereof, and how we need to keep these companies here. If she really means that and she wants to earn that crypto mom title, I can't wait to see the move she does here in the next few years, since her job has now been solidified. She is the SEC commissioner until 2025. So here moving forward, every decision the SEC makes, I don't want to hear her looking around the room making headline statements or pointing fingers at her own team. I want her to actually make the changes from her own team internally so we can see it and hopefully grow from it on this side of the aisle as well. So again, we'll see what happens with that, though we know how this usually ends up. Tiffany said, what's up with that weak ass retracement? The weekend is super in TA. That is right. People are going to be on their phones, on their computers and everything this weekend to see what happens. P-Man Van said, Dexter Senior, he was asking how they're doing with COVID and everything. That is right. All right, privacy group slams California bill that will put health records on the blockchain. That is right. I did not see this curveball coming, but people, this is terrible news for our base hits we try to get in the crypto industry. Perhaps. It looks like major digital rights group, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the EFF, has said a proposed law to put medical records on the blockchain would be a major privacy breach. Now, just to let you know, I know different states have different groups and stuff. Here in California, when we're talking about environmental groups and privacy groups, they're huge people. They have a lot of power behind them. We're not just talking about some mom and pop, somebody screaming with some sign talking about give us our privacy or give us our rights. No, these people usually have big backers, big donors, big people and big companies who can't always speak for the company or themselves that agree with what they're saying. So they go through these groups. So I put that out there because if you have a California privacy group or environmental group, again, raising noise, they can actually change the trajectory of whatever there is they're raising hell about, right? If it's some type of legislation, which is what it is here, they can actually change the trajectory of it. So it looks like the proposed in California legislature earlier this year, the bill AB 2004 would create verifiable health records on the blockchain that citizens show on entry into public buildings or public transportation to check whether they have or had the coronavirus. Per the bill's fact sheet, this idea will help slow the rate of infection and take people in the high risk category out of harm's way. So I agree with that part and the factual sentiment. I think that's true. But this argument also broaches on the argument of when we had the Patriot Act, citizens' privacy versus like public safety or whatever. Like, do we want to, do we want another 9/11? Do we want another terrorist incident to happen, a terrorist threat to happen, or do we want our own privacy? It's one of those things where it's like you can't have both. And as we saw back after 9/11, a lot of the American population was fleeced into believing that the only people that could protect us was our government. So we should give up our privacy in order for them to look at everything we're doing, listen to everything we're doing, and be able to protect us. Right? This is similar to that as well. They're saying, hey, to protect the public health, you may need to give up some of your privacy, which is your health, your health records. We want to know if you have corona before you walk into this crowded restaurant or whatever, or this ball game. If you want sports to continue, if you want football games to come back in August, what if everyone's medical record was on the blockchain, right? Now, again, devil's advocate, I also agree with the privacy group here. Who's to say right now it's just corona? Maybe next week it's going to be, if you have type O blood or O negative blood, if you have A positive blood, you're not allowed in here. I don't know. Anything can change based off your health record. It could be if you do have the common cold or the common flu, you're not allowed to come into these rooms or do these things anymore. There's so many barriers that you would never even think of. What if it's an election year like right now? And they're saying the only way you can come out to vote is if you don't have coronavirus or never had it. Or, so you know what I mean? So there's so many layers to this. It is kind of dangerous. It looks like in an article on Thursday, Adam Schwartz, the EFF senior staff attorney, said putting any health records on a permanent ledger was a, quote, troubling step to a national identification system that could be used to track citizens. All right. Here's the deal, people. I deal in reality. I think you should start dealing in reality too. First of all, a national identification system is coming. I mean, if it isn't already even here, right? We know the CIA has all types of little toys, but it's some things I can't even talk about probably. But the national identification system, the next 20 or 30 years, people, is coming. It's not just coming to America. It's coming to every first world country out there. I mean, sorry to tell you, it's the truth. The entire planet has become digitalized. It's increasingly becoming digitalized, and globalization is happening. People want people to work for them in other countries. They want to go to other countries and work. We want this world to be smaller. It's happening. Social media is making it. The internet is making it. So a national identification system, I truly believe, is already on its way. that's going to happen. Now, where I think the senior staff attorney and the privacy group are misspeaking or not being fully knowledgeable about is that California is trying to put this on a private blockchain. And I even have to look at and do my research. I just kind of figured this, people, because why would they want it on the public one, right? They're trying to put it on the private blockchain, which is basically what the staff attorneys talking about, saying this is a troubling step, as well as privacy groups fighting back on. If you put it on a public blockchain, something like a Bitcoin blockchain, where no one has access to it, but only the person who has their, of course, private key and whoever else they allow to see it, I think this actually could work, and it would not make a national identification system because it would be on a public blockchain. So that's something, again, these privacy groups don't understand yet. Even our own Congress and some of our own regulators don't understand. And I'm sure the staff attorney might not understand either. When you're talking about these blockchains, in this case, they are talking about a private blockchain, which I disagree with. But putting health records on a blockchain, a public one, I agree with. Because yes, if you are going to that same restaurant right now on a Friday night, and they do want to know if you had corona or whatever, it isn't the whole world knowing about your public health records. It isn't even the government knowing about your public health records. It's you and that at that kiosk at that restaurant, and you showing them your private key. In fact, you don't have to give it to them. I believe. I think you should just be allowed to show them the private key, maybe from your cell phone or something, and it shows your health records there. So there are workarounds from this. There's just technical workarounds that haven't been thought of yet because this isn't here yet. So it's one of those things where, again, I see why this group is pushing back. Probably the way this bill was written, AB 2004. I highly doubt it was written for a public blockchain. It probably was written for a private California state governed blockchain. So again, I agree with the group if it's for a private one, but I do think we're missing the opportunity here for a public one. And as far as the the identification system, that's coming, people. We allowed the Patriot Act to happen. The identification system is already here. The moment we allow our own government to legally tap our phones to stop terrorists, the identification system was already there. It's just that we're actually good citizens, and most of us, we actually don't think of it because, like the Patriot Act is supposed to work, which it always doesn't. If you aren't doing anything wrong, then yes, you shouldn't even be affected by it. You shouldn't feel it. It shouldn't be in part of your life. So same with this. I think it'll be one of those things where once we put health records on the blockchain, it'll be like, if you're not sick, if it's, if there's nothing to worry about, then you have to think about it. But yeah, if something's been wrong with you, if you have a deadly disease or a deadly virus or something that's highly contagious, then yes, we do want that on your record so people can see it. But as P-Man Van said, it's a slippery slope. Timothy Grigsby, that's right. We actually covered this. Is this something that a project like Civic will be good for? If you remember back in 2017 when we used to do our best altcoins we buy videos, we did an in-depth thing on Civic Key. Actually, it might still be on our Instagram. We were a part of the Civic Key ICO, even though it was like a ICO where they only, you had to wait in line basically in queue. The queue numbers were random. They did a great ICO, what is it called? They did a great fundraiser where they made it fair for everyone to buy an equal amount, or the amount that they could, that they could handle. It was everyone gets random numbers to be placed in queue. You get in the queue, your number gets called, you can buy your Civic Key. Now, the thing with Civic Key though, the problem with it is that it was a good project. If you remember, they had a Civic Key vending machine basically, or it wasn't a Civic Key vending machine, but the software was on it, where you could buy beer and alcohol from a vending machine just by showing you were 21 and over by using your Civic Key and all the blockchain, all the stuff that goes on there, right? The issue with Civic Key is their owner, their CEO, or whatever. I can't even think of the guy's name right now off the top of my head. I need Bitcoin today next to me. I have his face in my head. I know his name, of course. Benny Lingram. Benny Lingram. He wasn't really working on the project. He was going to conference after conference after conference. If you remember, this is 2017 bull run. He's making bets. You remember he made the bet with Ronnie Moaz on stage for $20K, which Ronnie Moaz reneged on. I'm going to call you out on that. But yeah, I feel like he really wasn't working on the project. He wasn't putting energy toward the project. I feel like a lot of the community felt that. People were saying that to him. They were coming at him on Twitter. Not only that, if you remember one thing about Benny, we always say on this show, he's a contraindicator. That means whatever Benny Lingram says something about the market is going the opposite way. The guy was continuously wrong, even though he did beat Ronnie Moaz, so I'm giving him his props. But yeah, so there are things out there. Real ID Act, of course, the Real ID Act, the military uses that as well. Thanks, Sid. So these things are coming. Again, it's already here. That's my point about it. It's just the kinks are being worked out on it. But that's funny. Civic. Yeah. Tell Vinny to get to work if anybody sees him. Sid Owsley said, oh, okay, thanks. I see your comment. The national ID is already here. It's your state driver's license. It must conform to federal standards for your state to receive federal funds. There you go. Exactly. Let's see. Tiffany said, wear your mask. Antonio from the UK, what's going on? Lucky Lloyd, hello. Oh, you said Vinny was basically a salesman. Of course, yeah. I mean, look, this is 2017 with the ICO craze, people. Bitcoin Zay and I, trust me, we had many opportunities to jump on it too. We felt that it was the wrong thing to do and we did not do it. But yeah, you have some people who were like, yeah, we're going to get this money right now. And they did it. So there's that. But more about blockchain. Again, slippery slope part of it. Much of Russia's blockchain voter data is now for sale on the dark web. This is why you do not keep private blockchains. Like when we see our governments talking about central bank digital currency, CBDCs, or private blockchains, we see private companies talking about it. Again, this is the same as the internet and the intranet, where a company says, no, if you work for us, we're not going to let you use the whole internet. You can use our own personal little intranet. And it's like, well, it's less secure than the real internet, and you can't do as much. It's just not a better deal. It's the same here. A private blockchain is less secure than the public blockchain. You can't do as much with it, and it just generally doesn't make much sense outside of whoever is running it wants to be corrupt and control everything. They just want to have control of all the humans and everything all you humans want to do. Whoever owns that private blockchain just wants to have control of all your data, right? It doesn't make sense, and this is why you don't do it. This is why Bitcoin, the Bitcoin blockchain, is here. Many Russian citizens now face exploitation on the dark web after their blockchain voting data was accidentally leaked in early July. All right, I'm glad they have this photo here. According to Telegraph, shout out to you with the photo, especially after it says accidentally leaked. I can tell you now, the U.S. is trying to do this. We're probably going to get it accomplished as well. Billions, the TV show had a whole season about this, putting or having voters vote on the blockchain, putting voter data on the blockchain. This is the exact same thing that's going to happen in the United States, people. Let me tell you that. Like, not even as a possibly or as a maybe. I'm telling you as a matter of fact. I mean, we keep talking about this year after year, month after month, day after day. The governments of the world today are not equipped to handle the technological pace that the industry is moving at, okay? When you're talking about, especially when you're talking about hackers who the very good hackers out there who are confident enough to wake up in the morning and say, I could just hack my way into a year's salary today. I don't need to work for anyone. I don't want to listen to anyone. I just want to go by my own rules and do my own thing. There's no controlling them, people. There is no controlling them. It's like in the movies where they call the bad guy the wild dog, and they're like, you know how you beat a wild dog and they take him out back and shoot him. Like, that's what you do with a hacker, because the moment they get some internet access and they hands them the keyboard, your information is gone. And again, I'm pressing upon this point because Russia was the test ground for this. The U.S. wants to do this. Again, China definitely wants to do this. Everyone wants to do this. They want to put, just like we talked about with the health records on the blockchain, they want to put voter data on the blockchain. So again, it looks like passport data from 1.14 million Russians is now 1,140,000 Russians is now available for sale on underground shops via the dark web. This data was stolen from citizens who voted in the country's recent constitutional reform referendum, which utilized blockchain technology. According to Commercant, quoting information provided by the hackers, illegal sellers have already sold over 30,000 lines of a document that contains the leaked data. Lines are listed at a cost of $1.50 each, but the price per line goes as low as $1 for parties purchasing the data in bulk. So again, 30,000 lines, and you can make up to $30,000 on this at a minimum. Of course, it looks like they're trying to make a little bit more on that. Again, people, this is crazy. Over 1 million Russians, and you're talking about their passport data. I mean, who knows? For this one is passport data. In the United States or another country, once this is up and running, what is going to stop someone with this information or these hackers to sell it to someone? I mean, could you imagine the opposing party getting voter data? The Democrats getting Republican data, Republicans getting Democrat data. I mean, we know they're in the same boat in general. They're playing a game, but they're in the same boat. But in general, to have that type of data, I mean, people, that's worth a lot of money. That's very valuable. Again, 30,000 lines of this is worth $1, and that's from 1 million Russians. So imagine they got 15 million people, 20 million people, which we know some of these hacks usually do. So again, slippery slope, people. And this goes back to just the last story. We're talking about private blockchains. These are not public blockchains. We have to be sure we put that out there, because this won't happen, especially not as often on a public blockchain as it would a private one, because everyone can watch it. Every time something goes wrong on the Bitcoin blockchain, what happens? There's a story about it dying, right? That's because the entire planet is watching the blockchain all at once. If something bad happens at this Russian blockchain or a US blockchain, no one knows but this cybersecurity lab that just happened to take the case, right? Common sense. So no one would know on these private ones. Everyone knows on the public ones. All right, people. Let's see. Malik Howard, what's going on, Warrior? FTW, hello. Lucky Lloyd said U.S. citizens haven't had any privacy since 9/11. That is true. Rashu, what's going on? What's up to you? Tiffany from New York said, so we know all information is final to the Trump campaign. That's why he never said anything about the bounties. It's funneled. You're saying it's funneled to his campaign. I think, again, Democrats, Republicans, to me, they're all the same. I think they've all had money. I mean, look, this is the biggest country, one of the biggest countries on the planet with a ton of technology. And we're talking about presidential elections, and every president leaves that office a lot wealthier than what they started. If they're not playing dirty, I guarantee you someone in their inner circle is playing dirty for them, at least so they can have plausible deniability. But to me, again, they're all in the same boat, people. If you connect the dots, there hasn't been one president yet who ain't had some shit on their shoe. It's that simple. All right. Alleged Twitter hackers digital hearing overtaken by pornography and rap music. Hey, shout out. That is right. Listen, I am hand clapping and shouting out this story for so many reasons. First of which is what I just pointed out in that last story. The government still doesn't understand. It's crazy. It's 2020. They still don't understand. It's been a slow process for them so far, and I think it's because our entire nation has not been digitized yet. Like, we don't have the Internet of Things going yet. We're on our way. But the thing that I'm alluding to that the government and these some private companies still don't understand is that technology and the young people using it, you cannot control it. You can't control the hackers. You can't control the technology. And every time you do some messed up stuff, I am happy to see a hacker smack our government around. And that's what we're seeing here. We talked about this 17-year-old who was receiving already, or could be receiving, up to 200 years in prison for hacking Twitter and making off with $117,000, of course, and pushing out some scam tweets from the likes of Obama, Elon Musk, and some other people, right? But at the end of the day, his crime was hacking a social media company, and he's getting 200 years for it, right? Well, it looks like during the Zoom call they had for the courtroom meeting on August 5th, an irregular breach happened. They're calling it a Zoom bombing, where infiltrators broke into the call to interrupt the proceedings, said the Tampa Bay Times on August 5th. Posing as CNN and BBC News, they repeatedly interrupted the meeting with rap music, movie dialogue, and shouting, the outlet added. The perpetrators then proceeded to project pornographic materials onto viewer computers. The Florida judge on the case dismissed the hearing. Again, that is what I'm talking about. I'm assuming that's some 4chan work right there. I don't know, but I want to give them a shout out. You're supposed to be the big people, and you're supposed to be the adults in the room, the smart people that we voted for, the mature people and all that. And you're trying to give a 17-year-old hacker 200 years. Like, no, keep Zoom bombing them. Keep at it. Because now here's the thing. You think you're in control. The government thinks they're in control. The judge thinks they're in control of the courtroom until the courtroom's on a digital platform. Then all of a sudden you can't even hold your proceedings because your in-house IT and cybersecurity people can't stop the people out there. That is going to continue. Every time we see some shitty case, or as we saw the Panama Papers leaked, or the Epstein thing where he committed suicide, and then all of a sudden we see these flight logs come out with all these big names on them, right? It's like, no, you're going to continue to get hacked. Everything is now digital. We're not going backwards. As the Internet things roll out and things become even more digital, you're going to continue to get slapped around. Now, what will happen, of course, is what I already know is a deflection point for the government. Things like this happen. The government will go ahead and push out that funding, taxpayer funding, by the way, and they will go out into the public and they will find good developers and good hackers, and they will hire them. All right. Even right now, one of the biggest things that's growing on the military side of things, I remember Obama officially did it years ago, is he offered the pen. You know, you get your warfare pens depending on your specialty. If you're a pilot, you basically get like an air pen. If you're a Navy SEAL, you get your SEAL pen. So whatever your specialty is, right? You get your little pen. If you're a ship driver, you get your SWO pen. You're a rifleman, you get your, you get all these different pens. Well, now for basically our IT personnel, we have warfare pens for them. And they are selling, they're being promoted at a fast rate because of what the cybersecurity landscape is looking like now. So, of course, I know we'll hack people or we'll hire people, but in the short term, as we keep getting bad cases like this, as we keep getting unfair and unjust and corrupt practices and sentencing from the government, I love seeing this because, again, it's going to show that entire courtroom that is considering sentencing a 200 or a 17-year-old hacker to 200 years. It's showing them that, hey, it looks like there's another hacker right next to him that doesn't care about your sentence, that's going to keep messing with all your stuff, and it's going to do it in front of you. I mean, again, people, they are doing this during a court case about cybersecurity. They're hacking them. If that isn't a slap in the face, I don't know what is. Shout out to that person or group of people, whoever is doing it. Yeah, Rashu, you talking about bold. Imagine somebody already robbed a bank or whatever, and the police got there and they're cordoning off everything. They got the yellow tape. And then the second group comes in the front door and look them straight in the eyes and just like pull out a gun like, yeah, we're going to rob it too. Like, that's what's happening right here. They are literally hacking the court case itself. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sergeant Crypto, great point. The last, quote, clean president was JFK, and we saw what happened to him. That is right. And the big rumors around JFK was that he was trying to get the United States back onto a gold standard because he understood bankers and private citizens own the United States by owning fiat currency. And of course, he was shot in the head, but people also say that it might have to do with the mafia, possibly putting him in a position. And we all know who else had that killer, old Marilyn Monroe. So who knows what did him in, right? No, I'm kidding. All right, last but not least, certainly going to end this day on a great news story. Someone transferred $1 billion in Bitcoin for less than $5. Let me say that slower. Someone transferred $1 billion in Bitcoin for less than $5. That's right. An unknown Bitcoin wallet paid a mere $4 to transfer over $1 billion. To put this in perspective, I just tried to transfer $100 from my PayPal over to my bank account. I got charged like $3 or $4, right? Like it's almost 4% on $100. So $4 to transfer $100. Imagine if I was trying to transfer $1 billion on PayPal, right? Like 4% of $1 billion. What is that off the top of my head? 400,000 at least, or 4 million? It's probably 4 million on $1 billion. I'm thinking 4 million or 40 million off the top of my head in fees, people. Probably 40 million since we're done with $1 billion. 4%. Somebody do that work for me. Is it 40 million? I think it's 40 million. That seems more realistic. But regardless, that is crazy. But you're telling me with the blockchain, with Bitcoin, you can do it for $4 while PayPal is charging the exact same rate for $100? That's right. According to information provided by the crypto Twitter account, none other than Well Alert, who's been doing an awesome job throughout the years, 92,857 Bitcoin, in the amount of $1,092,603,640. I had to like slowly read that number because it's such an obscene number. I know if I was like, what's his name? If I was Bezos or Bill Gates, I could probably spit that number off the top of my head. But for us po folk, it takes a little while to read those big numbers. But it looks like that amount of Bitcoin was sent from an unknown wallet for a fee of just $4 at the current market rates. Now, although the Bitcoin network is known for its generally low transaction fees, get this, people, the cost per transaction has increased by over 500% in the last month. That means it costs $4 to move $1 billion, and that fee was already raised 500%. And I agree with that estimation because if you remember a few months ago when someone moved almost $1 billion, I think it was $750 million or something, it cost like less than $1, maybe like $1 and some change. So that would actually, that would make sense if it rose over 500%. Yeah, I think it was less than $1. So if it rose over 500%, it was less than $1, and that was less than $1 billion. This is about right. This is crazy, people. Bitcoin bot, another whale alert style Twitter account, reported on June 27th that 101,857 Bitcoin had moved 0.5% of all Bitcoin currently in circulation, with a total transaction fee cost of around 48 cents. So I think that's the one I may be looking at. Yeah. So it was over $1 billion and it cost 48% back then. 48 cents back then, and that again is raised over 500% in the last month, and that's still at $4. People, this is technology, and the fact that we're not using it is crazy. I mean, again, if your bank gets overdrawn, they're charging you a $35 fee. They charge you a $35 fee if you don't have money in your bank. Or if you want to actually do a wire transfer, you want to overnight some money somewhere, that's like $24 fee. No matter what the cost is, it could be $5, it could be $1 million. They're gonna charge you $24 for some banks, right? And again, they're charging you $4 for over $1 billion on the Bitcoin network. So for the overwhelming majority of us, which is 99% of the Earth's population that aren't billionaires, I think it's safe to say we should actually be using the Bitcoin network just for the fact that it's going to save the entire planet money by transacting on it rather than a private company like banks and some of the networks that they have, which we know to be very slow moving. And again, if you're still using Western Union or one of those Western Union or some of these places to send money to another place, I mean, that is your fault. Like, I hope they're fleecing you for everything, because at this point, you need to call up your family, relative in whatever country, wherever other state they're in, and tell them to get a Bitcoin wallet on their cell phone and just start sending them Bitcoin. Because Western Union, if I remember correctly, the fees start at like $35 per transaction or something crazy like that as well. So something to think about. Let's see. Sergeant Crypto, thank you. It is 40 million, he said. So again, think about this. If PayPal were to do this exact same transaction, they get to pocket $40 million. Now, of course, a lot of you are like, well, no one's doing $1 billion transfer on PayPal. Maybe not one person, but when you talk about all of PayPal, all the volume, and again, I'm not going to just spit some number out there. I don't know if it's $1 billion. It might be less, but let's just say it's 100 million, which I think is fair, more than fair, right? So 100 million, how much are they breaking off that from their 4% fee? Where again, it's just $4 to do an actual billion. Makes no sense, not only for their fee structure, but it also doesn't even make any sense for PayPal to be around anymore, just like many banks. These are all turning to legacy systems overnight. Jay Constant, hello. See, I'm not sure what that is. Sergeant Crypto said, why couldn't they send it to my wallet? I know, right? And just to be fair, people, more than likely, this is an exchange. Sometimes exchanges will transfer a lot of their crypto just to make sure all the processes are working, or they have to do maintenance on the wallet or maintenance somewhere, they'll transfer it out, or just to keep the ball moving, just so you never know where the stash is at. They're always moving it. So they're always transferring. So I'm assuming this is more than less likely an exchange. Girls Real Estate Investing Girls Investors said XRP Ripple is better. If you think Ripple is better, I'm not getting no real estate from you or listening to any of your crypto talk. Now I'm messing with you. Raj Shu said Cash App needs to catch up to them fees. LOL. Let's see. XRP Ripple is only 30 cents affordable for our people. Yes, that's per Ripple, but a lot of the Ripple has been pre-mined and is owned by the Ripple team as well. So if they were to decide to do whatever they want with that Ripple, then that 30-cent price might change. And last week, it was only 19 cents. So you're right. Mark Maxwell. Okay, yep, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Tiffany from New York said Coinbase fees are ridiculous. $20 for $2,000. I mean, listen, and as much as I mess with them because they do a good job as far as their platform, Gemini has some of the highest fees of exchanges out there. I mean, it is crazy. And again, one of the only reasons why I mess with Gemini, though, is because I know at the end of the day, if something really goes wrong in that exchange, I can fly to New York and probably see them within a good 24 to 48 hours. So other than that, I wouldn't even use that one. But it's crazy. It is crazy. Timothy said, banks get you coming and going. You already know it. That is the move. And yes, Ra, PayPal will be obsolete in the future. Thank you for using that word obsolete. That was the actual word I was looking for when I said legacy. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head as I stream live. Other than that, people, that is the show for today. Have a happy Friday. As we always say, make sure you secure the bag. Dollar cost average. Go ahead and buy $20, $30, $40 worth of Bitcoin right now. Something where the price dropped, you wouldn't be totally mad. And then if it goes up even more in another month, 2 months, 6 months from now, you could be happy about it and check us back out on this station, on this channel. Other than that, as I said, make sure you smash that like and share. We always can use everything to get this YouTube algorithm pumping for these crypto videos that we know they love. But you all have a great weekend. We see you next week with some more crypto news. Cheers.